Okay. Perfect. I'm beginning again. Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your communicated, and thank you for your joining for our Zoom meeting. Today, we will be happy to present it and inviting to our partner in Germany, IU University of Applied Science in Germany, and head of director of the International Department, Miss Anastasia Kushevarova is joining us, and she will be beginning some presentation about the MBA program, joint MBA program between two universities, KIUT International and IU International University in Germany. For first speech and our continued speech, I will share to my colleague, Miss Anastasia, please.
Yeah, thank you so much, Samar. Let me just, is it possible if you make me co-host so I can share my screen?
Yeah, sure, I'm sharing.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, perfect. So this should work. Can you see my screen?
Perfect.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Okay. Brilliant. Well, thanks everyone for joining today. So my name is Anna. I'm here on behalf of IU Applied Sciences today here in Germany. So I'm going to do a quick about our university and then specifically also go into details about the MBA program and a couple of other things just in general about our university. So to begin with, we'll talk about a few things today. First, I'll explain to you a little bit more about IU and why we are the best choice for your career and your future. The next step would be to talk about our online studies, so fully online studies, because we are primarily an online university. Then more about the on-campus study as well, a little bit about career services, because this is, a very pertinent, important question. And of course, if you have any questions at the end, to answer them. So why should you study at IU, which is probably one of the most important questions here. And we always want to talk about how our degrees will do wonders for your career. Being a University of Applied Sciences, we are very much hands-on. We focus a lot on your career, on your practical experience, and many other things that will help you propel your career in the future. So we always talk about how you will have higher chances of promotion, you'll have more opportunities to develop your leadership skills, you can be taking on bigger challenges and advance in your career. Also, because our degrees are internationally accredited, you can earn a German degree, but you can also be hired by international, not necessarily in Germany, but elsewhere in the world as well. And of course, not completely unimportant, it also improves your prospects for salary increase at your current job and, further growth into jobs in the future with higher salaries as well. So to give you a little bit of an idea who IU are, we are a university with 20 plus years of experience. We were founded in 1998. We're internationally recognized and accredited, and we have several different ways that we offer our students to study, which is online, on campus, and also hybrid. I will talk about this in a little. We are Germany's largest private university. We have over 1,000 students studying with us from 160 countries around the world. And we are very proud to say that we also have a 96% recommendation rate from our students with very positive reviews of their studies, of their degrees, of whatever results they achieve in the end. We offer over 50 different programs on different levels, bachelor's and master's, and MBA, of course. In different subject areas too. So if you're interested in MBA, that's perfect. But we also have plenty of other programs that we offer in fields of business and management, data, IT, engineering and technology, marketing communication, general engineer, and healthcare as well. We also offer over 100 specializations, which allow you to kind of dive deep into different specific areas and knowledge fields, depending on your personal interest and your career interest. And of course, you have a possibility to develop specialist skills across a large range of subject areas. I've mentioned briefly about the accreditation. Might be a little bit of a boring subject, but generally speaking, it is quite important that we are accredited worldwide. So we are approved of our excellence in teaching, and we're valued by the employers worldwide. So essentially, wherever you go, you can be assured that with a IU degree, you will be gearing for success in your career, no matter where you go. So some of the examples here are that we are accredited by the German Accreditation Council, which is of course very important as we are based in Germany. The first German university, we are the first German University of Applied Sciences that received FIBA Premium Quality Seal of Excellence in Digital Education. So as you know, maybe online learning is still a little bit of a question mark in some countries, or for some people, they're still maybe a little bit unsure if it's as good as studying on campus, but we do hold this quality assurance from FIBA for premium quality in digital education. Our programs, teaching, and all of the resources that we use are aligned with the European standards and guidelines. And of course, we are an AACSB member, meaning that we continuously work with business schools across the world to continuously improve, specifically our business education worldwide. So that would be very relevant for all of you guys who want to study an MBA with us. And also what's important here is we are also recognized by WES in Canada and US, which means should you go to work or live in the US or Canada, your degree from IU can be very easily transferred into the American or Canadian credits. So it's recognized in those countries as well, and you can rest assured that you can get employed in those countries very easily with our degrees as well. So how does it actually work in terms of online studies with IU? You can study on your kind of the main takeaway from our online study presentation, which means that you have full flexibility in how you study, how you plan your time around your studies, which modules you take, which subjects you take. It's all entirely up to you. Some of the more attractive features of our online study is that we have innovative study materials. So for example, we use our My Campus platform. That is the online platform that we use to provide teaching to our students, where you can find everything that you need for your study, including videos, podcasts, quizzes, mock exams, any study materials that you might need. And we also have our IU Learning app, which means that you can always study on the go. Maybe you're traveling, maybe you're on a holiday and you want to brush up on some of the things that you have learned. You can always use our Learning app to study as well on the go. There's lots and lots of different resources that we offer. You will have access to the largest online libraries. You will have all of the guides in terms of your learning and your exams. And you also will have access to our own digital library with over 300 million English resources for your studies that are all very much up to date, up to standards, etc. We focus, as I mentioned before, we focus a lot on very practical learning, so that you also have things like a personalized for all of your events. You will have a specific course feed where you can see everything that is scheduled for you, and you can also interact with your peers, with other classmates, with other people taking the same program at the same time with you. And you can always also work on real industry cases and projects. So like I said, we're very focused on that career part of the study, very practical, very hands-on, and we ensure that all of our materials are basically the most up-to-date, and they are the real life scenarios in which you would have to work. There are a couple of other things that make it very convenient and useful to study with us, essentially, which is every student that we have gets access to LinkedIn Learning. So alongside your main study, the study for your degree, you can also take additional courses through LinkedIn Learning. So you can get different certificates in maybe different softwares or any kind of course that you have in mind that you think would be useful for you. We also host career events with alumni from our university who work in world's biggest companies. So you can always network with them, understand their experience and how they managed to find careers after completing a degree with us. So this is also something that we like to offer. On top of that, of course, even though you would be studying online, you will always have our team support. So IU team support. So we have our student office and IT that will always be available for you 24/7, regardless of where you are in the world. We have also study coaches that can advise you on your study process and your learning plans. So maybe you are a little bit unfamiliar with studying online. That's not a problem. We have people on the team who actually can help you by counseling you and coaching you in terms of how to do it best to make sure that you get the most out of your study. And of course, you'll always have to interact with your peers, with your classmates. We have a large network of international students that all interact with each other through MS Teams, so virtual groups on MS Teams where you can always talk to other students. So it also doesn't feel too lonely just you studying online. I mentioned that we have a team that supports you. So this is just a little more detail on who those people are. First of all, we have the community support. So as I said, we are there 24/7. You can talk to your tutors any time of the day about any questions that you have about your courses. Even if, let's say, maybe it's still early morning in Germany and it's already beginning of the day for you, that's absolutely fine. You can leave a question, you can leave a message, and it will be answered within the same day. We have career coaches. So if you're struggling a little bit with your time management or you're not sure about how to study online, you can always reach out to your career coach and schedule a meeting with them, and they will actually guide you through the difficulties that you have and help you as much as they can resolve those difficulties. And of course, we have a student office who answers all of the administrative questions. Maybe you want to ask some questions about your enrollment, or you want to maybe change your study program because you figured out after some time that you would actually want to study something different. That's absolutely fine. You can always ask the student office to help you with that. I also mentioned about our IU Learning app. As I mentioned, you can study anywhere, anytime, 24/7, anywhere in the world. So with our My Campus platform, you have access to it all the time, and you have our learning app that you can access on your phone, on your tablet, laptop, wherever it is that you are. It's always open to you. You can basically study anytime, anywhere. It's really convenient and really fits people that are busy, maybe studying something else or working, etc. It's a really convenient way of doing your studies. Finally, in terms of exams, it's not our exams are not the same as kind of in the very traditional universities, because our exams take place online. They're fully flexible. You can always take them anywhere from anywhere in the world, wherever. They're relatively stress-free. So of course you're taking an exam. It is still quite stressful, could be, but At the same time, you can also write your exams in familiar, comfortable, stress-free environment, for example, at home or in a library, anywhere that it is that you have a setup that you can write your exam. You can start your exams without any prior registration, waiting list. You just book a flexible time slot for yourself and you can take the exam at any time. There are no traveling to the exam center, no overnight stays, things like that. It might not be the case for some countries, but I do understand that in some countries, you actually do have to travel to an exam center and sometimes even stay in a different town for the night. So that is not something that you need to do with our exam option. Our exams are fully online and flexible. And of course, once you have them and it has, you can request a review of your grades, and if you're unsatisfied with it, you can always retake the exam to get a better grade if this is something that you want to do. Here's a list of our online study programs. It's a lot of text, not to worry. This is just a full portfolio of our programs. Mainly, of course, we will be looking at MBAs today. So as you can see, we have two options for MBAs. One is of 60 ECTS, which is a one-year program, so it's 2 semesters. And we have a Master in Business Administration of 90 ECTS, which is 1.5 years, which is 3 semesters. And you can see that we have lots and lots of different majors or tracks within those MBA programs that you can take. As a quick example, so this is, of course, a very short summary of an MBA degree from us, but generally what you can expect from studying an MBA program with us is that you can gain expertise in subjects such as leadership, strategic management, managerial economics, marketing, entrepreneurship, and many, many more. And also we offer a lot of different electives. So if you would like to maybe learn something else in addition to your or you want to kind of dive deeper into specific areas of study, we also of elective courses, for example, in accounting, artificial intelligence, consumer behavior, entrepreneurial ecosystems, sales management, and many, many different others as well. In terms of studying online, you can also start anytime online throughout the year. You don't have to wait for any dates, you have to wait for any specific intakes or timeframes. You can start anytime, of course, as long as you are eligible enrolled into the program. And you can also study with us on campus, which is something that I'll mention in a minute. You can also come study with us to campus, and the MBA programs, if I'm not mistaken, is offered 4 times a year in January, April, July, and October. So this is just if anyone is looking forward to studying in Germany. There's also an option, this is something that we offer as well, which is to start online and continue your study on campus later on. So you can do part of your degree online, see if you like it, see if it fits your needs, and then about halfway through your study, you can come to Germany and complete your degree in Germany. And also, I'm happy to confirm that by doing an MBA 90 ECTS, so the 1.5 years MBA program, you're also eligible for dual accredited degree from IU, which is us, and also LSBU, which is London South Bank University, which means that you, by just studying IU degree, you can also acquire a degree from a British university. So this is, again, just to talk about, you know, additional benefits of studying with us, and especially having that international accreditation. The application process is quite straightforward. So Sarver's team are the ones supporting you in this. Everything goes through them, so they will guide you through the process. They are in close contact with our operational team, and they will be the ones looking after your applications. You start your applications with your university. You submit all of the documents to them. You receive and sign your contract, and then after some time, when our admissions team have looked at your documents, and if you're eligible, they will enroll you. You will be informed about it, and you will receive your login details into your online study platform that we use, and you can start studying at any time whenever you're ready. Now, I mentioned briefly about studying on campus at IU. Just a couple of facts here about Germany. So Germany is one of the top study destinations in Europe for international students. There are several reasons for it. One is that it's quite a welcoming country for international students and internationals in general. It's quite an open society. It's one of the safest countries in the world. It's number 16 on Global Peace Index from last year. It has great student diversity in general, and also what is really useful to know is that over half well, actually a vast majority, I would say, of German people, but specific statistic here that 63.77% of Germans have very high level of English. What it means is that if you, for example, don't have as much time to study German while you're studying in Germany, or you're not planning to learn German language, it's also not necessary. You will be perfectly fine just with English in Germany, because vast majority of German population speak English on a very high level, especially if you're coming to our Berlin campus. You know, Berlin is an incredibly international spot, and you will be absolutely fine not speaking German there at all. On top of that, Germany is #1 economy in Europe and #4 in the world. So it's in a really good position economically speaking. There's lots and lots of positions currently open and available. They're constantly looking for people in various different fields for employment. So this is also something to consider. It's a really positive aspect of to Germany, and potentially settling down and finding your career prospects here as well. Speaking of which, there are some additional benefits for non-EU students. So you would have working rights, which is not incredibly common, but you will be able to actually work up to 120 full days per year while you're studying. And after you graduated in Germany, this is important to know that this only applies to students that either finish their degree in Germany or fully study on campus with us in Germany for the full duration of the study. After your graduation, you also have 18 months, so 1.5 years visa rights to stay in Germany and find a job. So you'll be freely able to stay in Germany and look for employment after your graduation. After 2 years, under certain circumstances, you will be able to have a settlement permit, so you can permanently remain in Germany. And if you wish, you can always apply for German citizenship after 8 years of living and working in the country as well. So those are just some options. They're not necessary, but one of the more attractive things about studying in Germany on campus with us is you are eligible, or you will be eligible, for a post-study visa for 1.5 years after your graduation. Yeah, this is just a couple of graphs in terms of German labor market. There are lots and lots of different things to consider, but one of them is something that I mentioned before is that there are a lot of employment opportunities in Germany, and the unemployment rate is incredibly low. So this is something positive to consider as well. Finally, our locations in Germany. We have several different locations in the country, but the two main ones are our Berlin campus and our Bad Honnef campus. Since we're talking mostly about MBA program here, the postgraduate study or master study, it will be taking place in Berlin. So you can experience the capital city. It's a metropolitan city, very international, very large, with so many different things to do and visit. And also it is an international business hub. So if you want to stay in Germany later on and find employment, find a job, that would be the place for you. The learning on campus, just to give you a quick taster about this, works a bit differently for us than it does for more traditional universities. Because if you say university, you probably imagine lectures, large auditoriums with a lot of people. This is not how it works at IU. We mostly have tutoring groups of maybe 10, 15 people at best. So you can get the most attention from your tutor, from your academics. You study in small groups. So that allows for tutors to also talk to you a lot and give you a lot of feedback and help you out as much as they can, but also allows you to basically have really close communication with your peers, with your classmates, other students. I mentioned briefly about not needing to learn German in order to stay in Germany, which is completely true. But also, if you wish to study German, maybe you want to, be a bit more comfortable talking in your everyday life, you can take a free German course with IU. This is offered by default to all of the students who come to Germany. Or if you wish to maybe really put your German to a really high level, you can always opt for a more intensive course. That would be something that you can pay for at our language center at IU. The application process is the same as for online, with, of course, a difference where you have to apply for a visa. And once the visa is granted, you come to Germany. Process is exactly the same. It goes through Sarvar's team, it goes through your university. They take care of everything. You just need to provide all of the necessary documents, ensure that you have reserved your study place, and you transfer your campus fee if you wish to come to campus. You sign your contract, receive your letter of admission, and once you have your visa stamped in your passport, you can come to Germany and join us on campus here. One final thing that I want to mention about the study is I mentioned that we also offer a hybrid version of study, which means that you can start your degree online and then continue on campus and graduate in Germany after you finish your study in Germany, basically. So here are the ways that you can do that. So one thing to keep in mind is that depending on which program you take, there are a certain number of semesters that you need to take online before you can transfer to campus. So if we're talking about master degrees since we're talking MBAs, it's either a master of 90 ECTS or master of 60 ECTS. In both cases, you would have to take one semester online, and then you can transfer to campus. The difference is if you're doing an MBA of 60 ECTS, there's only 2 semesters, so one of them you do online and one of them you can come to Germany and finish in Germany. If it is a master of 90 ECTS, so 1.5 years, you take 1 semester, 6 months online, and then you spend 1 year, 2 semesters on campus with us. And we put I put here the intakes for the programs. So for example, for an MBA of 1 year, the next intake is October 2022. That is to say for on campus, of course. And if you want to join us there, you can always apply before the end of June. And then I'm so sorry, this says 2022. That's of course not correct, it's 2023. But the next intake is October this year. So if you wish to come to Germany in October, you can apply by the end of June, and we can see you in October on campus with us. Finally, one kind of bit of information that I think is quite important for a lot of students and a lot of international students at that. I mentioned that after graduation in Germany, you can apply for an 18-month job-seeking visa that allows you to work full-time in Germany. And I'm very happy to tell you that 94% of IU graduates are employed within the first 6 months of their graduation. And based on the survey of our graduate students, our alumni, 70% of them have managerial experience in their current role, which means that they have become managers. They're looking after a team, they're managing a team of people. And 72% of them work in an international environment. So like I said, since Germany is quite open to internationals and international students specifically, there are lots of opportunities to work in Germany as an international as well. And there are lots of international companies that are based in Germany, but let's say they work internationally, they use English as their main language. So there are lots of opportunities for study there as well. And what we do to help you as our students kind of get into that career mindset and understand how things work, we offer career services. For example, we do career talks. This is something that you can attend weekly, where you can talk to our career service team. They can explain to you what your options are in terms of job seeking. We have career prep trainings that also take place weekly or bi-weekly. We have some career advice one-on-one, which you can ask from the career service team. They basically would coach you individually without you being in a group. They would individually coach you in terms of how to search for a job, how to make sure that your CV looks good, how to write a cover letter, how to negotiate better salary, better conditions for your contract when you want to find a job in Germany. So this is just a small list of things that you can do with that team. And what's really important is that we also have a job teaser platform that is open to you 24/7 online, that gives you an opportunity to look at potential traineeships, internships, full-time employment in Germany as well. So this is something to kind of get you started into that professional career in Germany. Yeah, so this is just a summary of things that I've mentioned. There are lots of different things that we do. I think some of the more important and interesting things, at least from my perspective, because I used to be an international student myself, I think the career prep trainings are quite interesting because it teaches you about the corporate culture, about the work culture in Germany, in a different country. So it tells you about how you should kind of strategize when it comes to your career planning and job search, how to write your CV and cover letter, how to, attend and completely ace the interviews that you go to, and also how to properly negotiate salary expectations and other benefits at the job that you're looking for. And of course, it teaches you a bit more about the German business culture, because of course, us coming from different countries, we might be used to a different type of business culture, different type of style of work, and the career prep trainings, they're really, really useful when it comes to learning a bit more about those things. This was it from my end. Are there any questions that I can answer right now? You think you can put them in the chat or just speak and I can answer the questions right now? Oh, I see there's some things in the chat.
Yeah, we have the question about speaking requirement, English level.
Yeah, indeed. So if you want to study fully online, we accept any standardized English test. So IELTS, TOEFL, even Duolingo is also accepted by IU. However, if you want to come to campus, then your options would only be TOEFL or IELTS. Unfortunately, this is a requirement from the German embassy. So this is not something that IU actually decided, because we are happy if you have a Duolingo certificate or ELLT, any kind of standard English test. But unfortunately, to get your visa, you would have to go ahead and do a TOEFL or an IELTS test to be able to get your visa. So this is something just to keep in mind.
We have one question also about the tuition fee of education program. They're asking what's the reason of the online and offline tuition fee, and how to the calculation when they choose the hybrid education program.
Yeah. So when it comes to when it comes to fully online study, The fees can be communicated by your team. So those are the fees that we have in the contract with the university within your international office. Because we're partners, that's why we offer a special discounted fee there. So if you're fully studying online, this will be the price and nothing will change about it. This is one thing that we guarantee, is that for once you start studying, there is no change to how much you pay for the whole time that you study with us. But that's when it comes to online. If you're coming to campus, the pricing will be different. It's a bit higher. And this pricing is not entirely in our control because it is with a different team. It's with our student office, it's with our admissions team. So those prices you can find on our website. So this is what you would be paying to IU directly if you study directly on campus. When it comes to the hybrid option, that is kind of half you would pay to your international office, to the university, and then the other half will be paid by you to IU when you come to Germany. And then it's a combination of prices. So you would pay the online price for your online study, and then you pay on-campus price for your on-campus study. So the difference is just that if you come to campus directly, you fully pay the campus price. If you study online directly, you fully pay the online price. But if you choose hybrid, it's just 50-50. So it's the same.
Yeah. I have one question. So do you have any grant or some scholarships? They have the IELTS requires a higher seminar up.
No, unfortunately, we don't offer any financial support if the results of the English test are high. This is not based on that. It's not based on the English test. There are some options possibly you can look into. There might be some scholarships, but it's never based on the English test results, unfortunately.
Yeah. It means a student must now fluently speaking English before coming to the MBA program, because
Exactly.
this is one of the reason to coming to apply, and from admission commission will be sure that the student can study and can connect it the MBA program. And
Indeed.
yeah,
Indeed. Yeah.
yeah. About the one, I have one question to my chat. They're writing me personally
Mhm. Mhm.
about the credit points. If you see, you say that the program has a 16 ACT credits, 80 and
Mhm.
120 and 180. What's the difference in the first part of the MBA
Mhm.
master degree by the direction? Was it changed only the
Yeah, so the difference is in duration and programs. So, for example, for MBA, they can only be 60 ECTS or 90 ECTS, which means it's either you study your master's for 1 year or for 1 year and a half. When it comes to other programs, we also have a few master's programs that last for 2 years, so they're 120 ECTS. There is Well, in general, there is no proper kind of difference in there. It just depends on the curriculum. It depends on, what kind of program our academics developed for each individual program. So if they think that for you to acquire an MBA, you're 1.5 years, then you will study for 1.5 years. What they stand for is the number of subjects that you take while you study with us. So for example, one subject, let's say you start studying a master's degree, the first subject you take is called leadership. This is 5 ECTS. So one module, one subject equals 5 ECTS. And based on the total ECTS that you need to acquire by the end of your study with us, you will take a certain number of subjects, each of them being 5 ECTS. Plus, I believe the final sort of dissertation is a higher, it also equals to a certain number of ECTS. I believe it is 15. I might be wrong, but I believe it's 15. So it's also a big part of your degree, of course. So it depends on the subjects that you take, and each subject is 5 ECTS, and then the total number is just the number that you need to acquire to get the degree.
And one more question also, can the graduation students which finished their bachelor's degree this year, can they apply for October semester intake? And what will be the reason? What happening with this situation?
Yeah. So generally speaking, to go directly into our master's degree, you do need to have working experience. This is part of our, actually, this is something that I didn't mention, but this is a requirement for all of our students that want to go into our master's degrees. You do need working experience to be considered for those programs. So the good news is for masters, for the MBAs, you would only require 1 year of working experience. Is a news, but the issue is that it has to be acquired after you finished your bachelor's degree. Unfortunately, it's a bit of a difficulty because it's the requirement of the German educational system. That's for someone to join the master's degree, it's not always very common to finish a bachelor's and go immediately into a master's degree. You do need to have that working experience to be considered for a master's degree. So this is the only thing that pops up in my mind that could be a bit of a difficulty. So if you don't have that working experience, you might not be eligible yet. So let's say this year, maybe it's a little bit unrealistic to go in master's degree, but I think early next year, so January or April, you can definitely consider going if by that time you will have some working experience already.
Yeah, and this requirement both of the master's degree and MBA degree, or only MBA degree?
Correct. No, it's for all master's degrees. Yes.
Master's degree.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if will be some situation if the student during the bachelor's degree, they have study in the more 1 year or 2 year in university or as a assistant or some head of the specialties and during the education, because as you know we have the part-time education also, because parallel one time students study and one time is a working as a full-time position. And
if the employment is full-time, that's absolutely no problem. Yeah. So if the job was full-time during their bachelor's degree, that shouldn't be a problem. Yeah.
Mr. Akhatov Akhror, right? So it was I will to study master degree after the graduation that the site as a university could help me to find job.
So we do have the career services that I talked about. So this is how we can help you. So we cannot guarantee that you can get a job. This is not something that we can do. This is still for you to do yourself, to still look for a job.
Yeah.
But we give as much help as we can. So we have a website where you can look at some positions. We can coach our career team. They coach students about how to look for jobs and how to make sure that you have successful interviews, how to make sure that your resume looks good, how to write cover letters, things like that. So it's yes and no. So we can help a lot, of course, but it's up to students. It's up to you yourself to look for something and find the job that you want.
Okay, so perfect. I think we can finish it in this moment, Ms. Anastasia.
Sure.
If you agree other partners, I will check up and save the video and sharing to our official channel to get more information to our students. And next step of our Zoom meeting, we will be planning in May, and end of the May we'll be planning. It will be more effective to organize some other Zoom meeting face to face with our graduation students, with our final master's degree student who will finishes this year, who's interested to MBA program in Germany. And I hope the next hour session will be more effective and more connectful. Miss Anastasia and other participants, thank you for your time. Thank you for your for the information presentation, and thank you everyone. See you the next time. Have a good holidays and have a good night. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Bye. Bye.